So under this series of programming in Java, we have we have covered quite a lot concepts in the domain of exception in under the topic of exception handling, and today is going to be our last lecture about this exception handling, and we will be kind of completing this particular topic. So what is the agenda for today's topic is we have seen all the keywords, we have seen try, catch, throw, and finally it is the throws keyword which is kind of less covered till this point. We are going to cover this throws in this particular lecture. Then we will be looking into the difference between the keyword throw and throws, and some final discussions about this all these kind of matching keywords like final and finally, that we will be covering in this lecture. So throws, whenever we are going to use, it is used in order to declare an exception. Declare an exception as in we are going to give an information to the programmer that there may occur an exception, and it is going to be in benefit of the programmer to to provide the exception handling code, obviously, so that normal flow of the program could be kind of continued. And exception handling, if we see, is mainly used in order to handle the checked exceptions, but if there occurs any unchecked exceptions, so for example null pointer exception or something of that sort, it becomes the programmer's responsibility to handle it well in advance, and that can be done kind of with the help of we can say these keywords. So in order to understand the mechanism behind this throws or behind this declaration of exception, we can say we will be using the keyword throws, and let us see this with the help of an example. So here we have import java.io.io exception is a library which we have imported here, which is going to be required. Then we have a class, and within that class we have a method which is named as m, and that method throws IO exception. So when we say throws IO exception, that means we have declared that exception. Now it has to be handled as the exception is being kind of declared. This has to be handled. Now in order to handle that, either we can kind of use the try catch mechanism, or we can use the throw keyword. Here we have used the keyword throw. So within that method, this says throw new IO exception, and which says device error, and we have another method which is named as n, that also we have declared as throws IO exception, and within that method n we have called m. So basically two methods, one is m which throws IO exception, another one is n that also throws IO exception, and calling m as well. And this m we have within this m we have also used the keyword throw in order to we can say generate a new exception object. And within a method p, we have inside the try block we have given n, and please you can take the reference of the previous program of the exception propagation, in which we have used these m, then m is being called inside the n is being again called inside the m. M is being called inside the n, and n is being again called inside the method p. And within this p we have a try catch mechanism. We have a try code, then we have a catch code. So this catch exception e is being handled here by just saying one simple statement, system.out.println, that the exception is being handled. But within this this m, then we have written this n, then we have written the method p. Till this point we have not written any of the kind of we can say driver code here. That means we do not have a main method. So let us try to write that down, and this main method is actually we can say creating a new object of that particular class, in which all these three methods which are n, m and p are being kind of declared. Then obj dot p is there. That means we are calling that method P with the help of the object variable created. Within the P we have a try catch mechanism. This try is going to call this N method. N is here which is kind of declaring an exception, IO exception, and within that N we have called one more method which is named as M, and that is also kind of declaring a throws IO exception thing. And what are we going to get as an output is the exception handled. Exception handled is going to come from this catch exception E, which is the catch block of which is the catch block inside the P method, and from the driver code we are going to get the sentence which says normal flow. So this is the output. Now here if we kind of we are calling a method that is declaring an exception or that is announcing an exception, we can say that is to be taken care by either of the ways. Either it is to be caught or it is to be declared. So there will arise we can say the two cases. We have caught the exception, that means we have handled the exception using the try catch block. So a try catch mechanism is required, or we have declared the exception that is specified the throws keyword within the method. We will try to look into both of these two scenarios. First, in which we are handling the exception using the try catch block. So in order to implement this mechanism, the code will be executed fine whether the exception occurs during the program or not, because we have kind of enclosed that within the try catch thing. So in order to look into the example, let us see this program. So we have a class M in which we have a method which throws IO exception, and this method is throwing new IO exception saying device error. When we are going to call this method with the help of an object of this class capital M, so within the another public class we have our driver code where we have written the main method, and within the try block we have with the help of an object variable which is named as a small m, we have called this method. Now on calling that particular method, now that has been kind of enclosed within the try block, and as there is a try block we have also placed one catch block there. So basically we can say here the proper management or the proper handling of this exception is being done with the help of the try catch blocks. So there we have catch exception E, and within that we have printed exception is handled, and then there is a normal flow. So in order to look into this program once again, let us see, we have a class M in which there is a method M which is declaring an exception, that means throws IO exception, and we have within that method we have seen we have written throw new IO exception device error. That means that is basically kind of catch we can say handling this with the help of the throw keyword. Now this M call to this M is being made inside the try catch block, and as the part of the output we are going to get this exception has handled and the normal flow. So this was the first case. The first case was in which we are kind of handling the exception using the try catch block. Another situation in which we are actually kind of declaring the exception. If the exception does not occur, the code will be executed fine, but if we declare the exception and the exception is occurring, it will be thrown at runtime, because throws does not handle the exception. It just declares the exception, it is not going to handle this handle the exception. That means it is not a exception handling mechanism. Throw is just a mechanism to announce the exception or to declare the exception. It is not a handling mechanism. So we have import java.io.star, and the same method M we have, but this time we have not placed any kind of throw keyword in this method M. So, void in this method. So, void method throws IO exception, and we have just written one simple line system.out.println device operation performed, and again this method in the similar manner as that of the previous program is being actually kind of we can say called inside the main method, but here try catch mechanism is not available. We have used public static void main, that means along with the main method we have used throws IO exception, that means we are declaring the exception, we are not handling here. So, now the situation comes up that situation comes as of the case 2, in which the exception is being declared, but not handled with the help of try catch method, and in case if this exception occurs, it will be thrown at runtime because there is no kind of we can say handling mechanism. So, here we have device operation performed, which is the statement written inside that particular method, and then the normal flow. So, the situation is that means that particular method that particular exception is not being kind of raised, we can say. Then in case if that exception is being raised, then what will be the situation that we are going to see with the help of the similar program, only a kind of bit modification is there. So, within the method we have written throw new IO exception device error, and again we have called this method M with the throws IO exception. Again please kind of please mark the absence of try catch block here. So, what will happen if this exception is being kind of we can say raised, or if this exception is being generated, then this is to be handled by the system, and that is why the we can say exception is exception in threadman java.io.io exception device error, and then this is having the handling mechanism which is given by the system itself, and that is why the statement which says normal flow is not being kind of we can say printed here, because we have not provided any handling mechanism. In the previous program, with the help of try catch, we have provided a handling mechanism. The program was we can say terminated in a clean way, but here it is not being happened because we have not supplied any of the handling mechanism. The program didn't end with the clean termination, and hence the last statement which says normal flow is actually missing. So, here till this point what we have covered is kind of we can say all the keywords and their various usages. We have seen try, catch, finally throw and throws. So, what is basically what we have covered recently is the two keywords throw and throws, and yes, as a part of kind of underlying the differences between them, it is very necessary to understand what is the basic definition, what kind of exception these are going to kind of we can say provide a mechanism with. So, we will be kind of we can say underlining, or we will be kind of summarizing the differences between these two keywords, which are throw and throws. So, let us look on into these differences. So, we have the keyword throw which is used to throw an exception explicitly in the code inside the function or within the block of the code. That means, if you want to throw an exception explicitly, throw is the keyword, while throw basically is used within the method signature in order to declare an exception. So, the basic definition says, if explicitly you need to throw an exception, use throw. If you want to declare the exception, just use throws. and declaring an exception means that might be thrown by the function while the execution of the code. It is not necessary, may or may not be. Then when we talk about what kind of exceptions these two keywords are going to be, these two keywords are going to handle, throw is specifically for unchecked exceptions. While talking about throws, we have we can declare both checked and unchecked exceptions. However, the throws keyword can be used to propagate checked exceptions only. In case of propagation, if we are using throws, so only checked exceptions, not the unchecked exceptions. While throws can declare both checked as well as unchecked exceptions, while if we look into throw, it is there only for kind of unchecked exceptions, not going to look into the category of the checked exceptions. Apart from that, the difference between syntax, yes, there is a difference between syntax. We have the throw keyword, which is actually followed by an instance of the exception to be thrown. So, we always say throw new user defined exception or some throw new arithmetic exception or something of that sort. When we talk about the keyword throws, it is followed by the class name of exception to be thrown. So, throws so and so exception. We are not going to define any of the instance of the exception to be thrown, while throws keyword is going to be there with the class name. Throw keyword is going to be there with the going to be followed by the instance of the exception. The place of declaration, if we talk about, yes, that is also kind of giving us a basis in order to differentiate between the two. Throw is used within the method, while throws is not used within the method. It is used with the signature of the method that you can kind of we can say notice in our previous programs also. Then if we see looking into the implementation, throw keyword is allowed to throw only one exception at a time. But if we look into the throws keyword, here we are kind of declaring exceptions. So, we can declare multiple exception using the throws keyword. That could be kind of SQL exception or file exceptions or something of that sort. So, but we can declare multiple exception using throws keywords that can be thrown by the method. But if we look into the throw keyword, only one exception at a time is allowed to be kind of throw with the help of the keyword throw. So, now looking into various programs which are going to differentiate which differentiated between this keywords throw and throws, and also we have seen the differences between the two. In order to give us a comprehensive idea, let us see a program in which we are going to use both the keywords, one which is throw and another one which is throw, so that you can have a complete and a comprehensive and a fair idea about the whole concept. So, here we have a public class in which we are going to define a user defined method which throws an arithmetic exception, and the user defined method is named as method, and that method is defined as static, so that we need not to create the instance variable of that particular class and then call that particular method with the instance variables and so and so. So, in order to avoid that whole hassle, we have declared it as static. So, static void method throws arithmetic exception, and within that method we have written system.out.println inside the method, and because this is a declared exception is there, then we have kind of tackled it with the help of the the throw keyword, which says throw new arithmetic exception, and kind of a message for the user throwing arithmetic exception, and this is it's actually a static method, and this, because of being a static method, we have directly called this method inside our main method as shown on the screen. So, inside the main method we have used a try catch block, and within the try block we have called this method, and catch obviously is there in order to handle the exception with the help of the class arithmetic exception and its instance variable e. So, this is, we can say, a complete program in which we have used throw, and we have used throws also. We have used the try catch block, and we can also use here, it is up to the programmer if they want to use the keyword finally, and that we have seen in our previous classes. So, all the 5 keywords we can say in a single program in order to give you a comprehensive picture of the usage or the application scenarios of all these 5 keywords. And whenever this program is going to be executed, it is going to give us the message inside the method and caught in main method. So, caught in main method is the statement given by the catch, and inside the method is the system, is the message which is printed inside this that function method. So, whenever this driver code is being executed, the method is being called. The first statement says inside the method, after that a new arithmetic exception is being thrown, and that arithmetic exception is being caught by the catch block which is available just after the try, and then catch block handled it with the help catch block handled it as an arithmetic exception, and printed the message which is given caught in main method. So, this was actually a complete and a quite detailed idea about the exception handling mechanism in Java when we talk about, but there are a couple of keywords which are kind of similar sounding, and first time programmers are actually kind of getting confused within those keywords. What are the keywords I am talking about? There are 3 keywords. One is final, another one is finally, and third one is finalized. So, final, finally, and finalize. Now, we will be quickly looking into the usage of these 3 keywords, so that while kind of programming your application scenarios, you should not get confused between these 3, and use proper keyword at the appropriate places. So, we will be looking into the first keyword, which is final first. So, that is a keyword, and basically it is an access modifier which is used to apply some restrictions on, it could be a class, it could be a method, or it could be a variable. So, final is going to kind of apply some restriction on the class, method, or the variable. So, it is a keyword which is going to be used with these 3 entities, class, methods, and variables. And once declared, these final variables become constant, cannot be modified. So, if declared with the variable becomes constants, cannot be modified. If given with the method, that method cannot be overridden by the subclass, and if given with, or if used with the class, that class cannot be inherited. So, the final keyword when used with these 3 entities is having kind of we can say different usage. That means we are providing, or we are imposing different restrictions. So, variables, when we want to make them kind of constant, non modifiable, we can use final. If you want to make a class which is non inheritable, make it as a final, and if you want a method which is not to be overridden, then you can say it as a final method. So, that is the use of finally, that is the use of final keyword. Now, coming to the next keyword, which is finally, we have seen that in our recent lectures of exception handling. So, it is basically a keyword, or it is basically a block in exception handling. In order to execute the important code, in order to execute the cleaning code irrespective of whether the exception is occurring or not. And finally block is always related to a triad, the catch block in the exception handling, and it will always kind of be executed, it will always run irrespective of the exception. So, all the important and cleanup code is to be written inside this finally. And finally block will be executed as soon as the try catch block is executed. So, after just after the catch block it will be followed by the finally, but its execution is not dependent on the exception, as I have already told you. Whether the exception is raised or the exception is not raised, it is perfectly this finally is going to be we can say execute. Now, here is we have a kind of we can say a fresh keyword we can say, which we may not have seen in our previous classes, which is the keyword finalize. So, we have a method in Java which is used to perform cleanup processing just before the just before object is garbage collected, and that method is nothing but the finalize method. It is always used with the object, and finalized method performs the cleaning activities with respect to the object before its destruction. So, we can say it is the method which is going to help in the garbage collection, and finalized method is executed just before the object is destroyed. So, here we have seen in this lecture that what is the actually how are we going to use the keyword throws in case of both the scenarios where we need to handle it handle the exception with the try catch, or we need to handle the exception by using the runtime system. Then we have clearly outlined the differences between throw and throws keyword. We have seen a comprehensive program demonstrating the usage of throw and throws, and then towards the end we have seen the three keywords which are similar sounding, often confusing, which are final, finally, and finalize. And with this we are coming to the end of our topic of exception handling. More to come in this series of programming in Java, but in the upcoming lectures. Here is a list of references which is being used for the preparation of lecture. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Goodbye.